It is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. A quorum is present, and the Minnesota State Education Finance Committee will now come to order. Today, we actually have a full schedule. We are going to be hearing from the community ed programs, from the full service community schools and our adult basic education programs. And then we will have an information, after these informational hearings, we will hear from Senator Maye Quade, her Senate File 1461, and then Senator Oumou Verbeten's Senate File 2007. I just want to do a little shout out and recognition that today is School Counselor Day on the Hill. It's the School Counselor National Day as well. And we all really need to recognize and thank our school counselors because they address so many of the social, emotional, the behavioral needs for our students. We know how much how our students and our teachers are struggling with mental health issues, and they oftentimes provide some of those crisis interventions. They are, from my experience, great collaborators with the teachers, especially when it comes to helping with academic success, and of course their role in family engagement and prevention of other instances of issues that the kids have, and are great advocates for our students in many ways. And so when you see them out on Capitol Hill today, and I hope they're able to make it in spite of the snow, just remind them and thank them for all the good work that they do and what a good partner they are in our educational process. So we will start off the day with a presentation from community ed programs in Minnesota. Matt Dickhausen and Corey Franson, would you like to join us at the testimony table? Thank you for being here, and not sure how far you had to drive, but.
Yeah, well, thank you. We really appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to present to you. We could talk all day about community ed. We're really passionate about it. As Senator Kunish said, I'm Matt Dickhausen. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Community Ed Association. I've been in community ed for about 30 years, and I was a director in outstate Minnesota for 24, and I've had the privilege of serving our over 2,000 MCA members for 2 years now as Executive Director.
And my name is Corey Franson. I am the Director of Community Engagement and Community Education for Elk River area schools. I've been fortunate enough to be in the community education field for about 20 years.
All right, so we've got a presentation. I think you have it in your packet. Really, it's nice to start of kind of defining what community ed is, and we have a slogan in MCA is "That's community ed," and it's kind of a marketing tag, but it's often something that people say in our own communities is, "That's community ed," kind of as a question, or "That's community ed," because we really touch a lot of areas. I'm excited to see that our adult basic ed friends will be presenting here later today. That's a program of community ed. And really our objective today is just to understand the history and the role of Minnesota community ed, understand the role and how we support all Minnesotans, and then our current challenges and opportunities. So community ed is a state statutory program, as you know, with 124D18. Really the purpose of community ed is to make maximum use of public schools and expand the utilization of the school human resources community by establishing a community ed program. And really, with that authorization, it tasks communities to, the first most effective programs have very active advisory councils. And our advisory councils are representative of our community programs, our partners, and really community ed is to be that link between the school district residents and the school. As most of our school districts, the residents of the districts don't have kids in school anymore, just the way the demographics go. So we really pride ourselves on being that link to the community and really being an advocate. So as you can see in there, we talk about advisory councils. That is by state statute. And then the funding requirements are all districts that are 6,000 or greater need to have a licensed community ed director. And a licensed community ed director is a licensed administrator, so similar to your principals and your superintendents. So we we're proud of the work they do, and we're proud of the standards that our directors have and our programs deliver. Additionally, we're required to have a policy to reduce and eliminate program duplication within the districts, and then we have an annual report that's submitted every year. All funding for community ed is statutory, and it is designated as in the 04, as I'm sure you are all aware, with education finance. And that is important to the longevity of our programs. The history, which it's kind of nice to know where we are now, but where we came, and really community ed started in Flint, Michigan in the 50s. It was the lighted schoolhouse concept. You know, back then schools were locked up right at the end of the day, and they weren't being utilized, and there was, it was a great opportunity, and now we take for granted of just the amount of programs. So in your own districts that you represent, I'm sure you go to a school in the evening and you'd be amazed at all the programs that are happening, right? Everything from adult basic education to parent-child classes to community centers that are run, recreation centers, youth recreation, youth sports. So community ed really does a good job of keeping it busy. Other history, as you can see in there, in 1968, Minneapolis was the first community ed service program. In '69, Governor Harold Levander organized the groundbreaking conference on the lighted schools. And in '71, Minnesota was the 4th state to pass legislation. And you can see the list there from Alexandria to White Bear Lake, the original programs. And what's neat is that's not just Metro, that's outstate. And in 1972, our organization was formed, and we've really been an advocate since then to continue the good work that our members do. Currently, community ed serves all 325 districts in Minnesota. Each district has created a system that recognizes each community member as both a learner in the system and a resource. And we really serve as a catalyst to provide partnerships and really be that link, like I mentioned.
I next wanted to share with you a little bit of the different funding sources that are part of Fund 4 and community ed programs. So first of all is the general community education revenue. So wanted to first of all offer a big thank you to this committee and to our legislature as a whole for the increase that happened in 2023 for our fiscal year 25. That was a very appreciated and well-received increase to help us support our communities in various ways. The youth service revenue is another source that comes to school districts, similar to what I'll talk about in a little bit with some youth after-school revenue, but designated to providing programs to youth in those out-of-school time settings. Probably the biggest one that's a part of Fund 4 is our participation fees. It's really, community ed really operates as an entrepreneurial portion of the school district. Similar to my district, Elk River Area Schools, ASIO reported to us as we were preparing for this presentation that roughly 70% of the revenue that their department receives comes from our users that are participating through their participation fees. Also is our youth after-school enrichment revenue. Again, this is an opportunity that we have some design programming that happens for youth, and a part of both of these after-school youth elements provide that we have to develop a plan and have that on file, sharing what the outreach that we're having for our specific communities that we're reaching. And then that community education aid, in addition to that community education revenue and the opportunity that those gaps are in place. Early childhood family education revenue, or ECFE programs. There's a large piece of revenue that comes in to facilitate those programs in our community, as well as a home visiting levy and home visiting aid to provide those in-home services through our parent educators. School readiness aid is for our school readiness programs. There's an aid component that comes to districts. The majority of districts in our state use this funding to provide sliding fee scales to our participants who are enrolling in our school readiness programs. The school age care revenue, the majority of school age care really comes from the participation fees. There is an element that's provided, that's that school age child care levy that's designed currently in legislation to serve kindergarten through 5th grade students. And the idea is in students in areas of need, whether it's IEP special needs related, medical related, or families in crisis, there's the opportunity to utilize those levy dollars to help support those families to be successful in those out of school time child care settings. And then our community education program revenue for adults with disabilities, again, tip of the hat and thank you for the advocacy there. Prior to 2020, this current year, 2025, to be implemented, but the 2023 legislation where it was approved, there was a small handful of districts that actually had the ability to provide this funding to our special population. But really excited now watching as all these programs are blossoming throughout the state and serving a large portion of our communities. Next is adult basic education. You'll hear a little bit later about specifics of that programming, but the funding source is really a combination of some state funding, federal funding, and then often some local collaborations that are a part of the revenue package that comes in for those programs.
So what does Community Ed look like in your district? Today's our MCA, our Community Ed Advocacy Day at the Capitol. It happens to be the only snow day so far this year. So some of our members have contacted you and I've set up, appointments, but those may need to be rescheduled. But really just to share with you the uniqueness of your community. And that's what's so great about Community Ed. Like I mentioned earlier, is our goal is to find out, have a good pulse on what the community needs are, do those assessments, and provide that. As you can see in your handout, it's everything from adult basic ed to preschool to adults with disabilities, early childhood screening, school age care. We're one of the largest providers of school age care, so child care throughout the state, and that's all year round, so before and after school, and then summer care. And it's everything from aquatics to district communications. You'll see a lot of community ed directors across the state that wear many hats. So I know Corey's a communications director. We have community ed directors that are buildings and grounds supervisors. We really work at how we can best support the needs of our districts and our communities. Next item is just kind of an umbrella, when you think of the umbrella of community ed, and this would be a rural district, and you can see all of the different areas and for Litchfield schools of really what are under that's community ed umbrella. Some challenges that we see.
Excuse me, I just have a really quick question. On your umbrella, you have, there's a box that says Special Olympics Coordinator. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? And is that in most districts or just specific to Litchfield or?
I don't know if it'd be most, but it is common to have a real strong partnership between Special Olympics and community ed. And many times it'd be in our outstate districts where they're running the recreation programming. They're doing the youth recreation, adult recreation, so it's just a good fit. So yeah, you'll see a lot of unique partnerships like that.
Thank you. And just to note that I believe Special Olympics is going to be held here in Minnesota next year in the 2026, am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting time. Great, thank you.
Thank you. So some challenges, you've probably heard in the House, there's a current bill or two proposal to allow fund transfer flexibility, so allow funds that are statutorily required to stay in community ed to allow those funds to be transferred to general fund. We feel very strongly we oppose that just because those are not excess funds. Those are funds that are have been collected and are utilized and needed for the investment of community ed in so many different program areas, kind of like all the different buckets that we talked about. One that's kind of on the horizon is the new school readiness licensure requirements, the 2028. There's some fiscal implications. We're still at 2017 funding levels for school readiness, so that's something on the horizon that we are concerned about. And then an area we know that you guys are actively working on is and there's a lot of conversations, unemployment insurance, and just how that affects with community ed is, all year programs and with some of our summer funding, but we know that that's something that's being looked at, so.
So then looking at some of the opportunities in front of us, our 2025 MCA legislative priorities. So some of the things we'll be having some conversations with some of you later today if we have some of those meetings scheduled. But that first piece is really talking about appropriate funding for early childhood preschool programming. So looking at some of the flexibility opportunities in the VPK model to make sure that districts are matching the needs within their community and having the opportunity for that funding to support those programs. Also, as Matt mentioned about our continue watching of that 2028 change in licensure requirement for teachers and wanting to make sure that we're appropriately accommodating that financially without having to pass that all on to our participants to raise fees to accommodate some of those increasing expenses. The expansion of the school-age child care levy, which I'll be testifying on a little bit later today in Senator Maye Quade's bill, really looking at that school-age child care levy opportunity that we have for families and expanding that down to serve our students who are participating in our preschool wraparound child care services as well. Then looking at that increase in the youth after-school enrichment levy, so some of those funding sources I talked about for those those after-school experiences, that funding hasn't changed since 2003. So looking at just when the right time is for some increase for that support in those program areas too. And then our last one just has to do with, as Matt mentioned, our interest in the unemployment insurance programming that happens and how it impacts our community ed programs. So next, just want to share some of the different opportunities and program elements that we provide and some examples of how that programming matches those different community needs. As Matt mentioned, really no two community ed should ever be alike. Really in our intent, it's to really serve our communities in the best way possible and find the way to fit the needs and the resources that are available within those communities. So looking at things like the impact that we would have in our communities, as an example, we are often the first face of school districts as to new families that are coming in, whether it's through our early childhood programs, facilitating early childhood screening, or just those preschool experiences. We really are that first face of the school district. Lots of different opportunities for partnership. I don't think I've met a community ed department yet that doesn't have some kind of a partnership element in place with an element of their communities, finding ways to help make sure that we're supporting families and students and facilitating those programs to bring them forward. And then just making that sense of belonging, being a part of a community and having those opportunities within your community to have the services that you need, the lifelong learning interests that you might need, and being able to have those locally is a big part of what our calling and in statute requires for us to be doing. So a couple other examples. One we wanted to highlight was an example of improving graduation rates. In Roseville Community Education, they do a credit recovery program within their community to help serve students in their out-of-school traditional settings through the community ed department. Another one is opportunity that was made available, again, through some previous legislation of the Early Childhood Grow Your Own grant. Some great information there if you'd like to read some more about Shakopee and the successes that they had with that Grow Your Own initiative. Another is looking at student achievement and the partnerships that Community Ed has offered. So this one is an example of the Winona Area Public Schools and their collaboration with their Community Ed department to track students who participated in their preschool programming and their successes through their FastBridge scores as they move through the system, and tracking how those students have had a higher success rate than some of their peers.
Kind of a fun one I get to talk about. When I was in Paynesville as a director, we were tasked as Community Ed to transform an underutilized media center into an innovation center. So we partnered with local industry and we've turned it into a thriving entrepreneurial venture for students, everything from CNC machines to 3D printing to robotics, virtual paint booths to really to just make that connection and to foster that student engagement.
This next one is an example of how Community Ed can collaborate even cross districts to provide some really unique opportunities for our state and communities. The Central Minnesota Consortium for Adult Basic Ed serves about 31 different school districts, and some great information here about some of the successes and growth that they've seen as a part of their different collaborations. The Tri-District Community Education Program, this is another great example of collaborations and programming that happen between some different school districts to make sure that they're meeting the needs of all of their different communities. And another great example of collaboration in Proctor-Hermantown, a relationship that started in 1993 of the combination of programming in that area, and a great example of successes through that collaboration. Then the Bemidji Pre-K Collaborative Classroom. Both these next two Bemidji pieces are examples of partnerships within their community to provide resources for early childhood families and to combine their resources together to reach more families and provide more unique services within that community setting.
And kind of wrapping things up, when you talk about partnerships, example is the Many Faces of White Bear Lake. You'll see that really common with community eds, especially in outstate, being that that driver, that connecting point, very active in local chamber of commerces, and just really being that point of contact to keep things moving in the community. So I know we're kind of running out of time, but we'd love to take any questions. Our passion is community ed, and we appreciate the work that you all do. And like we mentioned, the new legislation that we had in the 23 year, and we're just so excited about how many more people will be served because of that. Any questions?
Thank you both. It was a really great presentation. I really appreciate the time and effort that you put into this. I do have a question on the slide under challenges, where the second bullet point is school readiness licensure requirement 2028, fiscal implications. So can you explain to us what that is? And it says current 2017 funding levels.
Yeah.
What would that be?
Yeah, so what this really is related to is really the majority of funding that comes to school readiness programs from the state. Most of our districts are using those for scholarships for families as they apply to be in the program. Because we are part of a district system, and so there is contracts and negotiation elements. Because of that licensure requirement for early childhood teachers in 2028, many of us will be facing new bargaining agreements that'll happen at that time, which will then increase the cost of programming to be offered. So the hope is that we'd still be able to maintain some school readiness funding for scholarships, but also being very aware that the majority of that program costs comes from our participants paying fees, and our concern about us having to raise rates to that level to accommodate the new costs of the teacher licensure elements we'll be working on individually within our districts.
Okay, thank you. Members, Senator Swedzinski.
Thank you for your presentation. It's great. Community ed is, I'm a big fan. But I noticed, and not that it's not important, but a lot of work in early childhood education, and I'm just wondering what we are doing at the other end. Somebody who has taught community ed for years to adults, and the importance of getting adults back into school, and the joy and the pleasure on behalf of the teacher that created these classes. And I didn't see anything in here to try to get more of that. And as it seems like I'm reading more and more about how sequestered we're becoming and not leaving our homes to join civic organizations. And I would include in that, adult ed, just going down to the neighbor school on a Thursday on January 19th or March 3rd or whatever, anyways, to take a class on fill in the blank. And I just think that's a great opportunity, and I hope there's something happening behind the scenes to encourage more of that as well, in addition to all the wonderful work you're doing. So thank you for being here today.
Yeah,
there was a question in there.
Yeah, that's in our 30-minute presentation, yeah, right. So we had to kind of, but you're absolutely right. Really, we talk about that's community ed and lifelong learning. We're all about the lifelong learning, and you are right on that connection point, especially since COVID, of the community space. Community ed acts as that, and a lot of communities, they're running the community centers. Like from Painesville, where I was, we ran a 24-hour fitness community center, and is that hub for fitness classes, enrichment, welding classes. Our innovation center, we added many adult welding classes. We added an auto shop onto the school as part of that, so we did adult auto classes. So right on with you.
Yeah, I would add too, I think I can't speak to the state, but certainly anecdotally for my district, We've been really excited about the growth in our adult programs, mainly because of the ability to reach out to our community to provide those resources of instruction. As you know, there's wonderful resources within the community that can come forward to teach. And we've had a lot of success with that, and it's been really fun watching that grow from high-level interest areas to finances and will estate planning and things like that to seniors and adults who have had experiences with 3D printing and offering classes to teach more people about that. So those types of experiences are continuing to grow, and excited that those are there. But to be fair too, also our online opportunities. There is a lot of value in being present in our schools and having that experience, but we've also seen since the pandemic there's a lot of interest in some of the engagement and the ability for us to do cross-district programming. As an example, we do a lot of different cooking classes where we partner with some of the districts around us, where they have the opportunity on a Saturday afternoon. You've bought your ingredients, your instructor's right there on your screen, and you prepare your dinner for that evening. So, and that has the opportunity then that we're more likely to be able to offer those programs to more people because we can cross different district boundary lines to partner with other community eds too. So I appreciate your comments and the advocacy there, and we're right there with you.
Thank you. Senator Clark, you had a comment or question?
Thank you, Chair Kunich. I noted that Senator Dzinski called himself a community educator. I'm a community ed facilitator. I think he's a bit more trained than me. But the way that came about was in part through the, you said the advisory councils is how I got involved in my community ed. Ours was a bit more informal, and I noticed that the authorization says each school board may initiate. How many community ed programs have advisory councils? Or is it hit and miss, or is it a whole lot?
So I take that. That is statutory requirement, and those advisory councils need to meet at least 4 times a year.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Better get your group in order, mister. All right.
Thank you, Chair Kunish, for the admonition. We formed our own little over the fence one.
Informal. I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
we-
Okay.
As an association, we just finished our digital advocacy handbook, or advisory council handbook. So we help our members really, especially when new directors come into what is best practice to provide a functioning, well-run advisory council. So thank you.
Thank you. Senator Gustafson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Really quick, I heard you mention White Bear Lake Many Faces. That group is so successful, it's expanded, and a lot of other cities around them use them as well. And so just a quick shout out as another model. Senator Putnam was here yesterday to talk about models that worked in his community, partnering with the Rotary. Many Faces of White Bear Lake is another really good example of community services. And as we talk about just being concerned about funding and resources, it is a good reminder that there are places in our communities that are doing this work, and joining together with them is a good thing. So I just appreciate, I heard the White Bear Lake shout out many times, and I represent White Bear Lake, and best city in the state. Out of 9 best cities in the state.
So I have a quick question. Is like a member of one city able to go to other community ed, like the neighboring ones? Like if I wanted to go over to White Bear Avenue, or White Bear Lake and attend their programming, are there any restrictions? Can we move about as we please?
Thank you for that question. Yes, often yes. Sometimes there are levels of different types of programming that's offered. As an example, there might be limitations to participating in an after-school school-age care program, or a program that might be unique to an element of something that happens at a middle school or a high school, or it's literally almost just a barrier to having the ability to participate. But I would say the majority of things that show up in that beautiful community ed handbook are open to any members across the state to participate in.
Beautiful. Well, thank you both for coming in. I think you will find that there are a lot of lifelong learners at this table and in our communities, and I know how important that social engagement is for adults, especially, as they're aging and are looking for ways to keep their connection with their community, keep their brains active, and also be able to be a contributing member to the community, because oftentimes those instructors are members from our community that have a really keen interest in something and want to share it with the rest of it. So all of those things, lifelong learners, social engagement, accessibility, and community improvement is just such a crucial part of this. And thank you very much for putting this together, and really proud to have been able to put some investments towards this in, from the very, very youngest to our aging elders. So thanks very much.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. All right, we are going to move, members, we're going to move down to the adult basic ed presentation. We're still waiting for a few of our members to join us. Most of them are listening online, and so they're getting your message. No worries there. We have Scott Helland from Harmony Adult Education, Karen Walters from the Mankato Area Adult Basic Ed. Did you drive up, whoever that is, did you drive this morning?
Last night.
Oh, good. I heard that southeast area is pretty tough down there. We have Susie Evans from the Great Lakes Adult Education Consortium and Elizabeth Fontaine, International Institute of Minnesota. And so I think we will start with Scott Helland. And would you please introduce yourselves when you start and then begin?
Chair Kanesh, members of the committee, my name is Scott Helland. I coordinate the Adult Basic Education Program at Harmony Adult Basic Ed, serving Independent School District 622, North St. Paul, Oakdale, Maplewood. A place called Independent School District 624, White Bear Lake, and ISD 832, Matamidi. I'm also the legislative co-chair for Literacy Action Network.
Good morning. My name is Karen Walters. I coordinate adult basic education in Mankato, Minnesota, serving 6 school districts in south central Minnesota, which would be Mankato, St. Clair, Maple River, Lake Crystal, Sleepy Eye, and New Ulm.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. In your packets is a handout with background on adult basic ed services and the funding formula. I want to recognize our community ed partners who are here today as well. Adult basic education programs serve adults ages 17 and older who are no longer enrolled in the K-12 education system. These adults participate in classes such as GED and high-set preparation, English language learning, college prep, and workforce training. Approximately 65,000 adult learners participate annually across Minnesota to improve their literacy skills, gain credentials, and advance or re-enter the workforce. There are 39 ABE consortia across the state that collectively serve the entire geography of Minnesota. Today, we are asking you to invest in this critical population of adult learners. Investing in low-skilled adults in Minnesota pays off. ABE students are a vital part of Minnesota's workforce. ABE provides adults with the opportunity to learn English, complete high school credentials, and earn certifications that help them gain employment or advance in their jobs. Many students prepare for college, and some complete college certifications and degrees while still enrolled in ABE programs. Our programs maximize resources by partnering with workforce agencies, human service organizations, and local community and technical colleges. We don't try to do it all. We collaborate with existing systems to support adult learners in reaching their education and employment goals. We deeply appreciate your decision last year to align ABE funding increases with those of K-12 education, up to 3%. However, a significant factor impacting our programs is the addition of ABE teachers to many teacher contracts across the state, which is a long overdue recognition of their professional expertise. While this was a positive step, it increased staffing expenses by over 20% in my Harmony ABE consortium alone. The 3% increase does not cover these rising costs. As a result, many programs have reduced the number of classes offered, increased class sizes, and created wait lists across the state at a time when our workforce desperately needs skilled workers. Another key funding challenge is the way ABE dollars are allocated. ABE has 4 funding portions. First component is population funding, which is $1.73 per pupil in K-12. There's a base funding for school districts that is based on EL or English language learners in K-12 schools, assuming that K-12 EL learners have parents and relatives in need in the area. There's a funding portion based on over 25 with no diploma. These portions allow a statewide delivery system for adult education. The contact hour portion of the formula is based on hours of student contact. Each hour is funded out of the same pot of money. So unlike K-12, where additional students bring additional dollars, AB's fixed pool means that serving more students stretches resources even thinner. I'll kind of lay that out for you here. The student contact attendance hour portion of AB funding is divided among programs based on the number of contact hours served statewide. 2 years ago, programs were reimbursed $11.03 per contact hour. Last year, because ABE programs served an increased 16% statewide in contact hours, that dropped the reimbursement rate to $9.64 per contact hour. This means adult education provided more hours of education and received less funding per hour. This year, we're already seeing another 9% increase in student hours statewide, which will result in an even lower reimbursement rate per contact hour. This often results in wait lists for programs.
The need to upskill our workforce is greater than ever. Many of our students are working adults who attend adult basic education to improve their skills and access better employment opportunities. Family-sustaining wages are a top priority for the workforce programs, and that includes adult basic education. Currently, adult basic education programs across the state are experiencing wait lists, significant wait lists, something that we have not seen in years. In Mankato, we had wait lists for English language classes by October 1st, primarily at the lowest literacy levels. We added an entire evening section for 30 students in November, but we still have 25 students waiting for daytime classes. Our class sizes have climbed to over 30 students per class, well above best practices for effective instruction. Minneapolis adult education has had wait lists all year, as high as 200 people at one time. And even after hiring 5 additional teachers, they still have 119 people waiting for classes. Burnsville Adult Basic Ed has had wait lists all school year, with 83 students currently waiting, down from 130 earlier this fall. In the North Metro program, currently there are 418 learners who have been tested and are ready to start classes in our consortium waitlists, and 317 of those are from the Columbia Heights Ridley location. These are just a few examples of the unmet demand for ABE services statewide. Some programs have developed online and hybrid programming in an attempt to serve more learners and to expand access to programming. What we are finding is that the cost of maintaining current technology is a barrier to this access. Adult learners want to work, improve their skills, and earn better wages. They want to help their children succeed in school and contribute to their communities. With additional funding, we can serve more students and support Minnesota's workforce needs. At the same time, these adults are sitting on the wait lists to upskill. We know that there are many businesses that are looking for employees. Thank you for your time and your continued support of adult basic education. We look forward to working with you to expand opportunities for adult learners across Minnesota.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Susie Evans, Great Rivers Adult Ed Consortium representing South Washington County Public Schools and Hastings Public Schools. I'm also the legislative co-chair of Literacy Action Network. During COVID, Great Rivers used Governor Wells's one-time funding to upgrade an existing space to a commercial kitchen. With that upgrade, we hold work experience courses, students earn their food handler and food manager licenses, work on job readiness skills, and the class results show that a 95% employment rate for students. This has been a critical first step into employment for many students. We're also proud partners with Anderson Corporation, offering English in the workplace classes for their employees. Please enjoy the short video highlighting that work.
Today we're here on our last day of English at Work program, celebrating the graduation of the students and also International Day.
I feel really grateful because of the program, because of the English at Work. That is why I became a team lead today.
For us, good communication also means being able to communicate in English. So we offer English courses for our employees. We've been working with Great Rivers for approximately 4 to 5 years now.
Great Rivers Adult Basic Ed Consortium. That is a partnership with South Washington County Schools and Hastings Public Schools, where we serve adult learners age 17 and older.
The mission for adult education is to provide any type of skill, being it reading, writing, digital literacy, listening, speaking, anything that's an employment skill.
The program like English at Work will give them those skills to feel confident in their job. Not only will they be confident in their job, they will likely advance within their career.
When I started, I'm a manufacturer associate. After that, I became an associate sales, and then they offered for me to become a team lead.
We started off here at Renewal by Anderson in our Cottage Grove location. With that little start in 2019, we've been able to scale it to other plants, and now it's across the country.
It's wonderful because they can learn and improve their English, and they don't have to do it in the evenings or before work.
We don't have a English instructor internally, so being able to partner with Great Rivers has been really helpful for all of us.
We can create curriculum that is specific to that manufacturer, to that specific business, that makes their employees thrive and maybe level up in their business.
It also allows for a more inclusive and diverse work environment, which benefits the employer.
When I was brand new at RBA, I didn't know much about the company. I feel a lot of confidence after I took the English class because I know a lot of vocabulary, the word for window part material I work with.
They are just more comfortable speaking with their coworkers, their team leads, their supervisors.
Within the classroom, they also build quite a community, and that family and that excitement, how they take care of each other, those are the best pieces of this partnership.
We're so thankful for a partnership like this with Great Rivers because it really helps us be able to empower our employees and grows bigger than who we are as a company.
Business partnerships are part of how adult basic education, workforce development, and businesses work together to prepare adults to be job ready and for businesses to fill vacancies and retain good employees. This English in the Workplace partnership resulted in 85% retention from the employees who participated at their business. Thank you for your time.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Elizabeth Fontaine. I'm the Director of Education at the International Institute of Minnesota, and I'm getting over a cold, so I have a very husky voice, I'm sorry. I would like to highlight the transformative power of adult basic education because at the International Institute of Minnesota, we know it's about much more than just the basics. Last year, we placed 458 new Americans into jobs, and for 229 of them, this was their first job in the United States. Through our workforce and college readiness programs, we empower immigrants and refugees with the skills they need to thrive in high-demand careers and higher education. Our adult basic education workforce training programs place individuals into stable, family-sustaining jobs each year. Jobs in healthcare, hospitality, and business, industries that are the backbone of our economy. Graduates of our 7-week nursing assistant program, for example, enter the workforce or earning well over minimum wage, filling critical shortages in our healthcare system. Moreover, our medical, career, and business pathway ensures that students are successful beyond their first job. The average wages for students leaving our medical career adult basic education pathway were $30 an hour for LPNs, $44 an hour for RNs, 2 years, and $48 an hour for our BSN graduates. Again, these were all students that left our ABE program directly into college level courses. Our professional leadership training classes help students who want to advance in their career, in their current career, maybe something from their home country, through job skills training, and the average hourly salary for our very recent graduates is $30 an hour. So adult basic education is helping fill the healthcare and other labor shortages in the state of Minnesota. But our work doesn't stop there. Through our College Readiness Academy, we bridge the gap between aspiration and achievement. Through a partnership with Metro State University, Hennepin Technical College, and St. Paul College, our students are able to earn 3 free college credits that count towards their graduation. Many of our students are the first in their families to pursue higher education, and with our support, they bypass remedial developmental education, coursework, and they go directly into credit-bearing college classes, saving them time and money. Currently, the students who graduate College Readiness Academy go on to college and are 82% likely to graduate college, proving that adult basic education is a launch pad, not a last resort. This is the impact of adult basic education. It is economic development, it is workforce advancement, it is community empowerment. Investing in adult basic education is investing in our state's future, ensuring that every learner, no matter where they start, has the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for sharing really good messages and letting us know just how important it is that we continue to invest in our community members, no matter, their age, where they're from, or what the efforts are that we are putting forward. I'm wondering if anybody has a question or a comment from our... I have just a quick question for Ms. Fontaine. With the International Institute of Minnesota, are you the place on Como Avenue?
Yes.
And also provide citizenship classes and support for new Americans?
Yes.
Could you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, our work at the International Institute is 4 parts. We're a refugee resettlement agency. We provide immigration services for humanitarian visa causes. And we have an education department that has ESL from very beginning, pre-literate level, all the way up to college preparation. And then we have a workforce programming as well. So the thing that makes the Institute unique is our immigration services and our refugee resettlement services. But in adult basic education, any site has education and workforce programming.
Yeah, thank you for that service as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Well, thank you all. Again, here we are at a time where we are providing resources and opportunities for our adult learners, our lifelong learners, and our unique learners here in Minnesota. I appreciate you all coming up and sharing those with us.
Thank you.
All right, I think we are going to move to, we're going to actually welcome Senator Maye Quade. I didn't see you there. We have Senate File 1461, School Age Care Programs. If you would like to get yourself to the podium and just take a minute to get settled. Hope you didn't have too horrendous of a drive in. I think I heard that your community had like 11 inches of snow. Yeah.
Yes, Madam Chair, we got maybe a full foot. It is
Yeah.
a lot, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for making the effort to come in again today and share this bill with us. Members, we're going to be laying over Senate File Senate File 1461 for possible inclusion. If you would like to, and would you like to move your bill?
Yes, Senate File 1479.
So move. 1461.
1461, excuse me. Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So then, again, we'll be laying this over for possible inclusion. Senator Maye Quade, would you like to explain your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, members. Under current law, a school district may offer before and after school care for children in kindergarten through 6th grade through a district's community education program. These programs are funded through participant fees, but school districts are allowed to levy for needed resources to support students with disabilities or children experiencing family or related problems of a temporary nature. Districts use this funding for compensation for additional staff needed to support children with disabilities so they can participate fully in the program. Things like paraprofessionals, language interpreters, purchase equipment and supplies specific to a student's disability, such as sensory materials and equipment, adaptive chairs, or communication tools. extra transportation costs required to allow a child with special needs to participate in programming events such as field trips, and training related to providing services to children with disabilities, such as training on health-related procedures like tube feedings. So districts have developed before and after school care for children enrolled in their preschool programs, but the funding to support children with disabilities is not available to so many of these families who cannot access these programs. And so Senate File before you proposes to expand the existing levy so districts can support children with disabilities needing wraparound care. This legislation does not provide funding for all-day daycare. This is a really specific, narrow bill for these services and things that children with disabilities who are in these after-school programs would need in order to actually participate. And so I have a testifier here to talk more about that, and that is my bill, Madam Chair.
Welcome back, Mr. Franzen. If you would please state your name for the record, and then you can begin.
Certainly. My name is Corey Franson, Director of Community Engagement, Community Ed for ISD 728 Elk River Area Schools. So thank you, Chair Kunish and committee members, for the opportunity to testify today. I am here on behalf of the Minnesota Community Education Association to express my strong support in the proposed amendments to Minnesota statute on school-age care revenue as outlined in Senate File 1461. For many years, districts before and after school wraparound care programs have relied on the levy support for students in elementary level to meet the needs of those students with disabilities or other unique situations for their participation in our programs. These funds are critical to providing the necessary staffing, training, and equipment to ensure a smooth and successful transition for students from their classroom school day to the before and after school wraparound care setting. Particularly those with behavioral and medical needs. One of the key benefits of this levy is maintaining consistency and resources across the student's school day and their wraparound school day experience. For example, a fourth grade student who uses an enhanced listening device in class can access the same equipment in their school-age care program, or likewise, a kindergarten student with an IEP goal for social emotional skills can receive additional staff support just as they do during the school day to help them achieve their developmental objectives. The ability to provide this level of support through this funding ensures that students continue to receive the interventions and strategies necessary for their growth and success. However, a critical gap remains. While this levy supports kindergarten through sixth grade programs, it does not extend to students participating in district-provided preschool programs. District-provided preschool care operates similarly to our elementary school-age programs, yet current state statute prevents us from using levy funds to support the preschool students with the same levels of need. This means that families who rely on early childhood special education and preschool services often face a gap in the wraparound support until their child reaches kindergarten. Early interventions at the preschool level can significantly impact student success, and expanding access to this funding would allow us to extend these crucial supports earlier in a child's developmental process. I appreciate the committee's time and consideration for this important legislation. On behalf of community education educators across the state, I urge your support for Senate File 1461 and thank Senator Maye Quade for your leadership in bringing this bill forward. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Senator Rarick, question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One question, when we look at the eligibility change, the first part is very specific around, a child with a disability and referencing back to statute where we get that definition. Can you help us understand the second part where it's talking about someone who's experiencing family or related problems, what that is, and then the temporary nature? Are we saying that they're only eligible for the assistance while this is happening, or once this happens, is that child continually eligible? Can you help us understand that portion of this bill?
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Appreciate the question. So that references elements that could be specific to McKinney-Vento. We use that as a threshold sometimes for us to analyze whether or not a student's eligibility would be in place. Oftentimes that might look like something of a displaced family because of a home fire, that now maybe the family is living outside of the school district setting, and so the student's transportation may bring the middle school family in at the same time, but they need a care setting for their child to be in that care setting so that the transportation can bring both the middle school student, the elementary student at the same time. That would be an example of something of like that temporary setting to say that while we're helping the family adjust to that transition period, we could use those funds to help support a student in that atmosphere.
And Senator Maye Quade, do you want to respond as well?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and Senator Eric. So currently, if you look at the bill, currently, the community education program, you see the struck through language is kindergarten through 6. And so the current eligibility for what it is are children who are enrolled in kindergarten through 6, or foster care, for example, or the situation that was given here. And so what we're adding there is children who meet the definition of a child with a disability who are not yet enrolled in kindergarten. So that's the only thing that it would change, is that if you are enrolled K through 6 and you're in an after-school program, you can continue to get those services that you get in the classroom, but if you're in preschool, you can't. And so that is what this is seeking to fix, and so we've just defined eligible child for the 2 that already exist, and then the additional one, which would be the child with a disability who's not yet enrolled in kindergarten. Does that make sense?
Senator Rick, follow up?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. That part I understand. It was that second piece around which our testifier was getting at, where it's the adding in also the family experiencing problems of a temporary nature. That's what I was trying to get a better understanding of. And then also, I think we partially answered that it would probably be just during that time of where the problem is, that the child doesn't continue to remain eligible once that has been resolved. But I was just thinking that that's something potentially for us to look at, to tighten that definition a little bit and then help explain that it's only during the temporary portion, if that's what's intended by the bill.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the part about experiencing family or related problems of a temporary, that's already the law. We've just, we changed that last year. So we allow districts to give preference, if they so choose, to children who are in foster care or temporary home placements, or like the situation that was given before. So all you're seeing here is 3 different groups of people who are considered eligible children. The last two are already part of the law. We're adding in, I know it's new language, but we've just added eligible children and then given a definition. The definition of eligible children currently is already this children not yet enrolled who are experiencing family-related problems, or children enrolled in kindergarten through 6. So we're just adding that one.
Okay. Anything else? Oh. Would you like some more explanation, Senator Eric? Mr. Ornstein can,
Yeah,
sorry.
if we could, that would be great, because I mean, that's underlying language, and I'm not seeing that same language under existing.
Madam Chair and members, might be helpful, the new language in the bill actually is basically verbatim language from a different section of the code. So if members have interest in it, they can look at section 124D.22, subdivision 1. That's the section of law that provides the revenue calculation for services for these children, and the language relating to, for example, who are experiencing family or related problems of a temporary nature. That exact phrase is already the law under subdivision 1 of that other section, and has been the law since at least 2012. That was the last time that entire section was amended. So it might predate that even, and I can do some further research on that.
Senator Eric? Thank you. You will notice, members, that there is a fiscal note attached to this. And at this time, I would like to ask Ms. Hofer if you would just run through this and give us a quick explanation of it.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. In your packet, there's a fiscal note for Senate File 1461.
I'll guide you through this fiscal note as they look a little bit different from fiscal notes for other committees. As Senator Maye Quade stated, this bill will primarily generate additional levy authority for school districts, and that is not reflected on the first page of the fiscal note, which only shows the effect of the state funds. And so you'll see that there is no additional cost to the state general fund for the bill on the front page. If you turn to the second page of the fiscal note, you'll see a brief description of the bill, followed by the assumptions on how the Department of Education calculated the additional revenue authority for districts. And MDE looked at the number of children who are not yet enrolled in kindergarten who are currently participating in school age care programs across the state. And this data came from the fiscal year 2024 Community Education Report. MDE then looked at the cost of school age care programs by district and calculated the amount per participant, and then applied this to the number of participants who are not yet enrolled in kindergarten in each district. That generated the total amount of additional revenue for the school age care programs. Because the bill does not adjust the equalization factor for the program, all of the additional revenue will be generated in levy authority. And if you turn to the third page of the fiscal note, that table shows the additional levy authority. With the effective date of the bill, this would first be effective for revenue for fiscal year 2026. However, levies have already been certified for fiscal year 2026, so it's assumed that that levy authority would be generated in fiscal year 2027 in addition to the fiscal year 2027 amount. So for fiscal year 2026, the additional revenue that would be generated through the levy would be $1,518,000. In fiscal year 2027, it would be $1,748,000. In fiscal year 2028, it would be $1,901,000. And in fiscal year 2029, it would be $2,069,000. I'm glad to answer any questions the committee has at this time.
Any questions on the fiscal note, members? Nope. Thank you very much, Ms. Hofer, for walking us through that and explaining the significance of that. Members, any questions for the author or our testifier? No? All right. Any last words, Senator Maye Quade?
No, Madam Chair, I appreciate the Community Ed Day and the chance to hear this bill. I think there are a lot of kids who otherwise would be in preschool, and especially those with disabilities, deserve the services to be able to fully participate, and this would give them the opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our testifier. And so with that, Senate File 1461 is laid over for possible inclusion in our future omnibus bill. Our last bill of the day, and I'm really excited about this one because I do appreciate the concept and the support that full-service community schools provide in our communities. Senator Oumou Verbeten has Senate File 2007.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I, too, am excited about this, but it's been a great day just hearing about community education and adult basic education and Senator Maye Quade's bill. So we'll try to wrap it up on a good note.
Senator, would you like to move your bill?
Yes, I would like to move it.
Okay. So today we're moving Senate File 2007 onto the Committee on Education Policy. And you have an A1 amendment, is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, I do.
Would you like to just explain that really quickly?
Yes, Madam Chair, this is a author's amendment, but we just needed to make a few technical changes based on the recommendation of council, just sort of clarifying the funding that is eligible and the coordination with MDE. So just a few technical changes.
Great. Would you please then move your A1 amendment?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move the A1 amendment.
All right. Members, any questions on the A1 amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting the A1 amendment, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the amendment is adopted. And now, Senator Oumou Verbeten, would you please share your bill with us?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Full-service community schools are just a very effective education model. They provide comprehensive academic, social, and health services to students, parents, families, and community members, and those ultimately result in improved outcomes. This model combines several evidence-based strategies designed to support student and family success. It integrates student supports and offers expanded and enriched learning opportunities. It also activates family and community engagement and fosters collaborative leadership, which allows parents to have a greater voice and input in their school's initiatives. You'll hear more about this from the testifiers today. So I will just move into sharing some of the changes in the bill. It stops the reduction of the full service community schools funding from going to 7.5 million down to 5 million, and expands it to 19 million per year to meet the demand across Minnesota. And that would sustain approximately 60 sites over 2 years. It also clarifies prioritization of funding for established and effective sites, ensuring that funding is not prioritized based on the types of funding schools have received in the past, so like federal or state funding, but rather it focuses on if sites are pre-existing and if they've been effective in implementation. And this is due to just some MDE interpretations of the last bill. So we're just making clarification there. MD is aware and they don't have any objections to that. And then it also addresses some overly prescriptive language surrounding leadership councils that allows schools to build a leadership council that really would best reflect their site's needs. So, you know, some schools might say we want to have more parents on the council. Some might want to have more administrators or teachers. So just allowing for more flexibility there. And with that, I will let our testifiers just share a little bit more about what happens in our full service community schools.
Thank you so much, Senator. Our first testifier, Jennifer Stefan. Is that, are one of you up there?
I think she's on.
Oh, there she is online. If you would be so kind as to state your name for the record, and then you may begin.
Jennifer Steffen. Good morning, Madam Kunish and committee members. My name is Jennifer Steffen, and I am the elementary principal at King Elementary in Deer River. We currently serve over 400 early childhood to 5th grade students. My district is located in northern Minnesota, hence my participation over Zoom. Many of the barriers that exist in large districts also exist in small rural schools. The full-service community school model works because it isn't one size fits all. The needs of the students and families are identified, and then the team looks for partnerships that can assist in meeting the identified needs. One barrier that exists in my district is transportation. Our students are transported from a 500 square mile radius every day. Many of our students ride the bus for over an hour one way. If a student misses the bus, there is a good chance that they are going to miss a day of school. There is no public transportation, and many of our families lack their own transportation. Students are missing out on high-quality education due to this barrier. Deer River Schools is in our second year of having a second van route to pick up students who have missed the bus. With this van route, we have increased our attendance rate and decreased our chronic absences due to these efforts. We provide a service that is needed by our families that don't have access to transportation. This becomes an educational issue as students who have the ability to get to school receive the high-quality instruction, while the students who do not have access to transportation miss an entire day of education. In Deer River, we have strong professional development, and we prioritize evidence-based instructional practices. Our teachers are confident in their ability to impact learning. However, we need our students at school for this to happen. At the start of my principalship 10 years ago, we did not have a full-service community schools coordinator or team in Deer River. I would work with our nurse to provide yearly dental and eye clinics for our students. We had parent volunteers, and our school social worker operated our food pantry. The resources and support we were able to offer our families was minimal. Working the last 4.5 years with a grant-funded, full-service community schools team has grown our model immensely. We have been able to create a system of support for our students and their families. Our team has worked tirelessly to find partners in our community for our full-service community schools work. We often hear that teachers are more than educators. They are nurses and social workers too. With our full-service community schools staff, we are able to remove some of those responsibilities from teachers' plates so they can focus on instruction and relationships. When we meet the basic needs of our children and their families, learning returns as the main focus of school. We have been able to create a system for our students in Deer River to access health care regularly. We have a system for our families to access our food pantry as needed. We have a system to remove transportation barriers for our families to attend conferences, important meetings, and special events. We have a system to provide mental health support for our students and families. In Deer River, we are seeing the results of this full-service community schools support. Our students and families know they can reach out for help whenever needed. Since the beginning of this school year, we have assisted 178 students with health care needs, including dental, vision, health insurance, and medical appointments. Currently, schools are struggling to meet the needs of their students due to many factors. The full-service community schools model puts social, medical, extended care, and enrichment activities where they are easily accessible at the school. The services of the school are based on the needs of the students and families. The job of our full-service community schools team is to match the needs of the students with the resources available. As a proud full-service principal, I would like to thank the author of the bill. We greatly appreciate your support of the full-service community schools model. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Steffen. Next, we have Danielle Hatcher. She is a parent at the Brooklyn Center School. And Ms. Hatcher, if you would state your name for the record, and you may begin.
Absolutely. Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, Senator Verbeten, and community members. My name is Danielle Hatcher. I am a parent of Brooklyn Center Community Schools. I am sitting here remotely to urge you to approve the allocation of $19 million in funding for the community schools. Every child deserves a community school, a place where they can receive not only education, but the holistic support they need to thrive. These schools serve as a pillar in our neighborhoods, providing invaluable resources to students and families alike. Every home requires additional assistance, whether it comes in the form of after-school programs or access to basic essentials. Community schools are uniquely positioned to bridge these gaps, offering support that extends beyond the classroom and helps family meet their basic needs. This assistance is not just beneficial, but essential for many families struggling to make ends meet. Community schools truly embody the principle, it takes a village, by providing a safe, nurturing environment where children can grow academically, socially, and emotionally. They foster collaboration between educators, families, and local organizations. They create a sense of unity that enhances the well-being of the entire community, ensuring that no child is left behind. My husband and I made the decision to open enroll our son into Brooklyn Center Community Schools. Because we were impressed by the community schools model, this approach has truly made a difference in his life. Our son is thriving in this environment. He is taking on the role of a student ambassador, which has boosted his confidence and leadership skills. Additionally, he is consistently exploring new activities and learning opportunities through the after-school programs. These programs have allowed him to discover new interests and talents. Moreover, the numerous opportunities to engage with his peers and the community have helped him to develop strong social connections and given him a sense of belonging. Overall, he is flourishing in this supportive and enriching environment. Furthermore, community schools remove barriers to success. They address challenges such as food insecurity, lack of access to after-school care, and insufficient academic resources. By helping children and their families overcome these obstacles, community schools ensure that every scholar has the opportunity to succeed regardless of their background or circumstances. The funding of $19 million is an investment in our future, one that will yield benefits for years to come. I encourage you to prioritize this funding and improve it so that our community schools can continue to thrive and provide the support every child and family deserves. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I trust that you will support this critical initiative that will positively impact countless students and their families across the state. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hatcher. Next, we have Jason Coleman. He is the principal at Valley View Elementary School in Columbia Heights. Welcome. Introduce yourself, and you may begin.
Sounds good. Chair Kunish, Senator Oumou Verbeten, community members. My name is Jason Kuhlman. I am the principal at Valley View Elementary in Columbia Heights. Thank you for the opportunity to share our full-service community schools model and how it's making a profound difference in the lives of our students and our families. At Valley View, we serve a large, vibrant student population. Many of them face challenges beyond the school day. These challenges include economic hardships, language barriers, housing instability, and access to health care, all to which deeply impact their children's ability to learn. The full-service community school model allows us to meet these challenges head-on, providing integrated academic, health, and social services support that removes the barriers for our families and our children. An active site council aids us in this, in informing and obtaining multiple perspectives from our families, our community members, and our staff to improve our school community. One of the most powerful aspects of this model is the partnerships we built to provide direct services that our families need. For example, we've partnered with Esperanza United to provide domestic violence training for adults, ensuring that families who are facing crises have access to support and resources. Ready, Set, Smile, which is a dental program that we embedded into our school, which serves over 100 students each year. And they come in multiple times to provide dental care through cleanings and different care. And then also through Reading Buddies, which is a program that local churches and organizations pair volunteers with students to help develop literacy skills, provide mentorships, and foster a love of reading. Beyond academic and health services, family engagement is a cornerstone of our full-service community schools approach. We know that when families are involved, students achieve more. That's why when we have worked to create a welcoming school environment through community building events. Some of these events, family picnics that bring students and families and staff together in celebrations, the fall festival, ice fishing, and our winter extravaganza, which we will be having tomorrow because of Mother Nature, so thank you to her, to bring families together in non-academic ways to build community, to support our children. And then also through Big Brothers, Big Sisters mentoring programs, helping students build meaningful, lasting relationships with positive role models. And then our last one is Parent Academy for new families. And these are families that come to our school from different districts, different countries. And so they'll be able to understand how to navigate our school systems, engage in their child's education, and build relationships with the school to further support them. These programs aren't just extras, they are essentials. They help build a strong foundation for student success by ensuring families feel supported, included, and empowered. The why behind why we applied for the full-service community school grant is important to know. We applied for the grant because it was based on a proven model that has demonstrated success in students, supporting students, families, and educators. Having worked at 2 different full-service community school sites, I've witnessed firsthand the transformative impact of the approach. It fosters stronger family engagement, provides essential resources, and creates a more cohesive school community. When I transitioned to Valley View 6 years ago, we recognized the value of this model. However, we didn't have the grant to support us. Now that we do, we have dedicated funding and a site coordinator to help expand our capacity. While we saw some positive outcomes without that, we lack the structure and resources to fully realize its potential. Now, with the support of the grant, we have been able to accelerate and expand our work in meaningful ways. The addition of a site coordinator has brought greater organization, collaboration, and consistency to our efforts. Families report feeling more engaged and connected to the school community, strengthening partnerships between home and school. Teachers, in turn, can focus on what they do best, is academics. Knowing that students and families have access to the support they need, their children are safe and flourishing at school. Ultimately, this model works. It allows us to become more efficient and effective school community, one that is better equipped to meet the needs of our students and our families. With the right resources in place, we can continue to build on the momentum we have created with lasting change. Full-service community schools are a proven model for success. When students have their basic needs met, whether it's food, healthcare, mentorship, or family, they come to school ready to learn. At Valley View, we have seen increased student engagement, improved attendance, and stronger family-school relationship because of this model. By continuing to invest in full-service community schools, we're investing in academic success and long-term community stability. I urge you to support and expand this bill so that more students in Columbia Heights and across Minnesota can thrive. Thank you for your time and your support and your commitment to Minnesota's children and families.
Thank you so much, and I'm really glad to hear that model is working for that community. It's a very unique community, and the services that you've been able to expand to, I'm sure, are going to make a big difference for those community members. Next, we have Becky Stroman. She is a 3rd grade teacher at St. Paul Music Academy.
Thank you, Chair and Senator Oumou Verbeten and committee members. My name is Becky Stromstead, and I teach 3rd grade at St. Paul Music Academy with the St. Paul Public Schools. My school is a full-service community site that's been in partnership with SPPS and Wilder Foundation. I've seen that our Achievement Plus full-service model is successful, and I wanted to share some of my perspectives from the classroom. I've taught with SPPS district for 21 years, and during that time, I've worked in 2 sites that were full community service schools and 2 that were not. As I began my teaching career in a traditional setting, I was excited to provide students with an education that provided rigor and high standards. Though I quickly learned that the students walking through my door had needs that had to be met before the learning could happen. Students and their families arrived with food shortages, housing instability, and limited access to transportation. This impacted their academics. If they were going to focus on academics, some of the barriers had to be addressed. So I, like many teachers do every day, felt it was my job to track down winter clothing and food for families. I began working with our school social work to help with transportation. We put families in touch with medical and dental services. The work was exhausting. All the time and energy I spent on these efforts put a strain on my teaching and classroom instruction. When I moved to SPMA and began working within the full-service community school model, it was a breath of fresh air. The coordinator was able to help the students address potential barriers for learning. I didn't have to. Students were provided access to clothes and winter gear from our family center. Students' eyes were tested and their glasses were shipped directly to the school. When students experience housing instability, our coordinator was able to get them the resources needed for safe and stable housing. Students' mental health was assessed and aided through our embedded therapist. Our coordinator built community partnerships to help enhance the educational experience of students. They received access to sports camps and equipment. Students had opportunity to attend day camps and performances. I cannot stress just how valuable the full-service model has been to the learning and stability of my students. When students' needs are met and they feel connected to their community, they thrive not only academically, but in all areas of their life. And I'm able to be a teacher focused on instruction. Teaching is hard enough, and I have loved that I can be a content expert in math or reading and not in food access. I can be more efficient in my work and focus on teaching. Having taught in both settings, I only want to work within the full-service model. Thank you for the opportunity to share my classroom experiences. I ask that you support Senate File 2007 to help expand full-service sites and give more educators, students, and families a chance to benefit from this model.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for the work that you do for our students and making sure that that they have the kind of environment that they will thrive and succeed in. So I appreciate that. Members, any questions or comments? Senator Clark.
Thank you, Chair Kunish and Senator Oumou Verbeten for the bill. This is crucial in my district and at my kids' high school, Edison High School in Northeast Minneapolis. It is oftentimes for my neighbors the one spot that they have to get the services that they need. And I've heard you say it, all the different partners that you have in Columbia Heights. I'm a little jealous of that. I don't know that we have that litany yet, but the outcomes are the same in terms of stability, in terms of keeping kids in the classroom and keeping kids closer to the school to allow them to learn. So there's a stability and a grounding that this is providing that unfortunately isn't elsewhere. And so the need to invest in this, to invest our resources, will help us prepare our students for graduation and everything that we want them to do. So thank you.
Anyone else? Well, once again, thank you so much for bringing this bill forward, Senator. With that, any final comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is just a great way to support our students and families and communities. And I really liked what Becky Stromstad said about how this allows her to actually focus on teaching, because we're taking care of those kind of basic needs that our students and our families have, and just making it very easy and accessible for them to access these services. So I know we're kind of in a tough budget here and waiting on some numbers, but anything we can do to support full service community schools is helpful. And I will note that those policy changes also do make a difference, and those are free.
Great. Well, with that, there's actually going to be a change. Senate File 2007 does not need to go to education policy. Senator Swedzinski feels it is sufficiently heard. So with that, I move Senate File 2007 as amended to be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you. And thank you to all the members, all the folks that came in today to testify and support these really crucial services and community collaborations that we have going on in our schools. They're often sort of overlooked or not really acknowledged in different ways. And so I always appreciate hearing about them and getting a reminder of how important it is that we continue to contribute to the success of our communities. Just a few last announcements. We will not have a hearing tomorrow. And next week, we will be having our hearings on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday's hearings will be about LTFM and capital projects. And then Wednesday, we're hearing sort of an assortment of bills, and they'll be posted on Thursday or Friday. So with that, everybody, stay safe out in the weather, and this meeting is adjourned.